Gotta aim for the top like, hold up. Yeah, I can never doubt myself, I know better. All of you critics be acting like you know better. Blowing the smoke, but I know when the dust settles that I'm in my element. It's evident that there's levels to the game. When I aim for the top like this, and you're in your element with a fire like this, and they hoping you fall and they praying you miss, but it's all in the risk. God got you with the switch, you know. I'm in the zone. Give me the throne. One shot, that's all that you got. That's all that I know. I'm in my element, ooh, yeah. I'm in my element, ooh, yeah. I'm in my element, ooh.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third and final round, the back nine of the Preserve Championship, stop 8 on the Disc Golf Pro Tour. We've got BigBarri commentary bringing you all the action. Jeremy Koling, Paul Ulibarri.
Yeah, in action we got ourselves a battle. Bradley Williams 28 under, Simon 24, James 23, Kyle sitting in that second place spot at 25 along with another familiar name, Ricky Wysocki.
No surprise that he was making a jump there, and also no surprise that the only bogeys that we saw on the front nine was a collection of 5 of them in total on holes 4 and 5, 2 of the hardest holes on the course. There are a lot of scoring opportunities on the back nine. Just a few holes that can play tricks on these players, and if there is one on the back nine, it is hole 10. This is the second hardest hole on the course, par 3. Listed at 375, maybe that's close to how far it plays, but the actual distance is closer to 330. But either way, you don't have much space to land the disc between that out-of-bounds wall and the basket. A lot of shots are going long, setting up difficult downhill headwind putts.
Oh, really?
Kyle getting a drop, and then a lift, and then a hyzer, and staying in bounds. That had a lot going on.
Yeah, that had a lot of, wherewithal to stay in bounds. That was a fighting disc right there.
And that's going to probably give the other players a little bit of extra nerve seeing how much action that shot had.
Absolutely, but also a lot of information they can take to the bank, which is important on this hole to see those, on that line, to see the disc lift, drop, gives you a better idea of what's going on up there.
James going long, safe, left. That's the safe play. Simon a little bit wider. This is more aggressive. Similar result, but man, that was close to fireworks. These bonus birdies are huge opportunities for these other players. If you're not named Bradley Williams, you need to be picking up these holes because this is so difficult. And Bradley Williams throws the best drive of the group and is almost guaranteed a birdie. So it's the exact opposite situation, it looks like.
Just a beautiful Mako shot right there. Not much different from that than the drive. Getting a lot of ups and downs from that wind.
Going Mako 330 uphill with the tailwind, playing that nose angle perfectly. So close for James. Right on line, just an inch or two low. Had a lot of action. Simon maybe even a bit fortunate that does not crawl over the wall.
Absolutely.
Oh no.
Still looking for a little metal.
Yeah, and it's just as difficult, if not more, putting for the bogey now. And that crawls up and in. So just after he had that long lull, he gets the nice birdie with a good putt on 9 and 3 putts 10. That is really going to take the wind out of his sails as Bradley steps up to his birdie putt and he hits the band.
Just a tough hole. I mean, the wind up there is swirling everywhere. You have the OB right behind. Drives are difficult. Putts are difficult no matter how close you are.
It is surprising with the basket right there in front of you that it would average 3.36, but this hole was playing cruel all week long. Second hardest in round 2 and third hardest in the first round. So definitely maintaining its difficulty throughout the week, no matter what the wind had. It was tricking our players. A fantastic change for this course from Kale LaVisca.
Absolutely. Hole 11 par for 760 feet. Bunker's really a nice spot to be. Bad footing, but that's the angle that you would like to get through this tight gap, over the little hill, to the basket on the stump.
This is the last change on the course that we saw for this year. Everything else is exactly as it was in 2021. The ideal spot on this one is, you say the landing zone is that bunker, but if you can get past it just barely and you don't have the slow ground play, that is ideal.
Of course. Yeah, farther you go, the better.
But to a certain point, without question on this one, you have to be in that narrow window. This is looking pretty good for James.
Pretty
Skip.
good.
Yeah.
Is
Perfect.
a understatement.
Yeah. This is just going to stay straight and a little hyzer finish up on the golf green. That is exactly where Kale was saying the best shots are going to be right there on the green, and that was beautiful.
Simon just has so much power.
That's as good as it really gets right there.
Kyle a little bit out of position here. He's going to have to do some tricky stuff.
That was a really nice throw and a bit fortunate, I think, to get through the back edge of the woods.
Great result. Outside look at a throw-in, depending on the angle that he has and how aggressive he wants to get. This is Brad hitting the gap nice. I mean, that's your typical landing zone, I think, from any position over there.
4.18 average on this hole. This was very rarely birdied. I didn't witness many birdies on this hole throughout the week.
When you're not allowed, but when you're in a position where you can throw putter in or mid-range, probably pretty rare, but makes the hole a lot easier.
Yeah, I mean, in mid-range, that's so tricky to do because the ceiling is so low, and then you also have ceiling issues with the ground with that little hill there. You have to hit that perfect slot, and Simon and James were both able to do that perfectly. Kyle not quite in the position where he needs to run those full steam, but with Brad, best case scenario or worst case scenario, par. He's going to have to find room to gain strokes on Brad if he wants to be the champion of this event, and he's the closest on this card.
And that right there is pretty much, not pretty much, that is a must make for Simon at this juncture. Keeps him within 4.
Yeah, that's a huge hit. And James is also in a must-make situation. And again, he's come up low and un-James-like.
Yeah, warming up, he had mentioned that his Circle 1 stats weren't as good as his Circle 2 stats. And sometimes disc golf is like that, really. I've had tournaments before in the past where I would rather land at about 35 feet than that 28-footer or something. I know that you have too.
Oh, for sure.
Funny game like that. You're like, why am I throwing it just good enough to suck?
Well, Ricky pars 10, but he does birdie 12, so he's also making up another stroke on our leader, Bradley. So he is inching closer. Hole 12 is a par 3, 348 feet tunnel shot. It's just tied with 5 other holes on this course as the most beautiful hole in the course, but it's just such a beautiful shot that you get.
What I love about this course is Simon throws a little hyzer. That's what I love about the course.
That's what you love about the course?
I love the little hyzer that Simon throws about it.
How he shaped a hyzer to be so straight through that gap is just incredible.
I like how Kale makes it better and better every year. That's what I like about it.
Yep.
And he has a big piece of property where he's able to do that. I mean, that's a luxury that not a lot of courses have, as Kyle matches.
You guys are dialing it in. It was 180 acres, I believe, he has to work with.
I don't know. I think Kyle only threw that about 340. But you're doing good, buddy. It's okay.
That is so stupid. Wow. Okay, so these guys just needed a couple of rounds to figure out how to play this hole perfectly because they are dialed in.
So beautiful.
$180 acres. No, it was only 340.
That
wow
is the best grouping you'll ever see on the hole.
Totally. Wow. And we're just gonna see a star frame.
This hole is not that easy.
No.
It is not that easy. You got to throw it straight for, what is it, 430 acres?
180 is the size of the property, but I don't
180
know. It's
acres?
your joke, not mine, so
That
you
is
can make it whatever you want.
On a tight line with the Mississippi right behind it?
Mississippi is what? It's got to be a couple hundred acres long.
Yeah, that's just unbelievable.
David Wiggins lives on the Mississippi River. And I played with him first round, and he said that he was going to take a tube back home. Just going to get some sunscreen, some snacks, just hop on a tube and just float down the river and just take his time. Star frame on 12 is unbelievable.
So is what you just told me.
He didn't even say it. I just made that up. So, anyways.
Oh, he didn't?
No, he didn't say that. No.
I'm like, I don't know geography.
I suggested
that
it to
much.
him. I asked him if there was ever like a waterfall in the Mississippi. He said, nope, it's just like this all the way down. So
that's kind of cool. It does go pretty fast. Here's Simon.
This
nice
is good
little
width.
Finger pop.
Really good width. Oh, perfect. Great touch. It's so good to see Simon have all the tricks in his sleeve. Not having the forehand certainly hurt him quite a bit over the last couple of years. Just didn't quite have all the tools. I mean, he's a great forehand player when he needs it, as you can see here. A bit tighter for Kyle. This is most likely not gonna. Well, I thought it was heading for the wood line, but the little tree hit keeps it in the edge of the fairway.
So bad. Wow.
Such a difficult throw for a righty backhand. Here's Brad, and he gets this nice little kiss, but right before he goes, you can hear that wind
just ripping.
It just started howling for the guy. I feel like that's the way that it goes. Winning a tournament, and then all of a sudden, every time you get up.
Mm-hmm. It's never just like a walk in the park.
Never has been, no.
You just got to fight the whole way through. Oh, good effort. Great pace. Good nose angle allows him to give the run, but also settle close.
I'll get a nice little love tap from the flag there.
That little nose-up spin thing that Brad did is just such a fun little catch shot that you learn from just having Frisbee skills. And it's not something you see a lot of the younger kids do. That's why I think, going back to what Nate was saying, a veteran's better, and having some of those old-school Frisbee tricks in his arsenal is certainly something that he has used a bunch in his career.
Absolutely. I mean, he's just a putter specialist. Like, mid-range putter. That's his thing.
And Simon will be getting a stroke on the card with the birdie here on 13. Second easiest hole in the course. These other players are going to be wishing they could replay that one. That is not one you can afford to miss while you're trying to track down the leader.
No, sir. Hole 14 is a beautiful par 4, 697 feet. We're going to have a left to right crosswind, wooded area on the right. If you do kind of shank one in there, you could get to the water, so you got to be real careful of that. Simon's box, he's going with stable C-line PD2.
Flexing it down the right side, but that's got enough stability to just get back into the middle. And that's well down the fairway. And that's a huge bonus to get that big distance. The tricky thing about this short par 4 is the approach to this basket that's on that mound.
Yes, and here's that turnover we were talking about. He's got to be careful. That's just par at best from there.
And I'm not going to say par at best for James, but he has got his work cut out for him. That is a long distance to that basket. And with that headwind coming up the hill, a lot of times you'll see that disc lift and carry left OB. Be very important that he keeps that disc turned over on his approach.
You know, one thing about this shot right here that Brad throws
Talk to us.
When you're under pressure, hyzer's your best friend. He throws Annie over from left to right with a flippy, understable driver, which is just absolutely...
Into a headwind.
Into a headwind, which is absolutely terrifying. That means that he's not feeling the nerves.
He's not nervous. Oh, James grounds this one. He does turn it over, but does not give it the height. And that is that's like a 9 out of 10 difficulty for that approach.
Yeah.
If you're not a big forehand player, that is so hard to do.
Going with the same disc, it looks like.
This time it looks like he will be... Oh, no, he's going flex again. And this one is heading... Appears to be long, but no, it just puts the brakes on, and he is...
His discs don't like to have action when they land, remember?
Yeah, that's the point about him perfectly throwing his angles all the time. Simon, significantly shorter approach, but he leaves that a little bit short.
That disc that he threw is so stable.
Yeah.
It's like the most stable thing. It like hurt my hand when I picked it up on the field. No, it did. I felt it, and I'm like, wow, if I did this, that would hurt my fingers. Terrified of his bag.
James,
This.
you...
Just a...
I love that. I mean, James knows he's
Yeah.
5 back. He's got to run it. You know, that's a putt that is just frightening and gives it a great effort. Brad to get to 30 under par. Wow.
The way that he just played that hole.
It's really, really... I don't know. There's a lot of adjectives in the world. But good is not the best adjective to use, but it's the one I'll use. You played that really, really well. I'll change my word to well.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, though, that's his game, the playing the turnover. But you're right. I mean, that's when you're coming down the stretch and you've got the lead and the nerves are high, that's when you yank that anhyzer.
Yeah, well, it's just like throwing a touch shot down a tunnel. it's harder to do when you're nervous. You want to throw it harder. And he's just so in control of his form that he's able to down tempo, not let the wind overpower him, use the angles. Impressive.
Well, I wonder if somebody's let him know that he is now tied with Ricky Wysocki at 30 under par, because he does not have a lead at this point. Ricky Wysocki has already played hole 15 and he birdied it, and he's at 30 under par. So maybe it's best that he doesn't know that he is actually being pressured right now by the chase card.
In fact, Ricky had a 1-stroke lead
Until Bradley made that. Yes, that's right.
Simon with a great drive.
And Simon, with his 4-hole birdie streak, he is certainly in position. If he birdies out with the eagle on 18, perhaps, all it takes is 1 or 2 slips from Bradley, and he is right there in the mix as well.
Agreed.
And for that matter, Kyle Klein is still in the mix. I mean, it really is just going to require Bradley continue pressing the pedal, pushing the envelope here with the score. And Kyle, boy, he got away with one there.
Yeah, he ran back. He said, I want to hide away from everybody.
Nice. That's funny.
He's a funny kid.
He is a funny kid. Good-natured young man. All 4 players able to hit the gap, but James and Bradley turned over big time into this headwind. This gap is usually fairly easy for these players to hit, but with this headwind, it really made this one so much more difficult. Wow, what a shot from back there, falling down.
Yeah, I mean, that didn't look like it felt good. But he's okay.
Okay, good. Good to know. Bradley with the headwind, having to go forehand on this approach. This is blistered.
Yeah, he hits those trees. Otherwise, it would have been perfect, I think.
I think, yeah, that looks so good. So he hit the backside trees.
Yes.
You can see they lean out just a bit more into the fairway than those early trees. That is an approach Kyle would like to throw over. Simon at the location where he threw the 310-foot eagle in yesterday. This time, a little bit more traditional hyzer into the green.
Again, not an easy putt on this hole, though, with that right to left crosswind. Everything is going to have to be earned coming down the stretch.
Kyle,
Even little 15-footers.
Without question. So Bradley, he needs to make this if he wants to recapture that lead. And pushed left.
Yeah, maybe the first sign of nerves right there. You could tell by the reaction.
Yeah.
I think he finally kind of knew.
Yeah, James Conrad, wow. It's a birdie from that position.
Crazy. While falling down.
That is just a James Conrad thing. That's really all that is. That is... Every other player is essentially conceding par.
Yes. A little tap in there from Brad.
But you're right, the way that he was jumpy.
Yes.
He's so smooth and so slow that when you see him do anything quick and twitchy,
Nerve showed a little.
it's the nerves.
Which going into hole 16, which is, I think, playing as the toughest hole in the universe with the wind that they are having to throw into right now.
This looks like a calm day. It's anything but what these players are about to throw into. A ripping headwind.
Just torturous headwind.
And it's relentless. At this place, at this spot on the course, you have the water behind in the right, and there's no trees over there, so there's nothing to stop the wind from just coming all the way down from 18's fairway even.
Simon had to put his hat on backwards, not only because he looks cooler, but because it was blowing off. True story. Can't make it up.
And this never turned over, and Heads well left. Hard to trust that spot in the background to commit your aiming point when you are the first one to throw and you don't know what's going to happen out there. And look at James just ripping the turnover. Very common result. Brad knows that Ricky parred this hole. So an opportunity once again to get a stroke. And look at this thing move, Paul.
I mean, that is just an absolute dime in that wind.
Jeez, that's good.
I mean, he made Simon and James look just silly right there.
Mm-hmm. Perfect wind read.
Yes.
Look at this flight. Moving left on the Anheuser angle and then flexing out and then actually going to the Heiser angle. That was some weird stuff going on there. What?
I mean, that's directly into left to right crosswind, plays it perfectly, gets the little lift right there.
My goodness, that's beautiful. Brad to get to 31.
Little disc punch.
Yeah. Show of the nerves, part 2.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's not many players in the world who don't feel that way coming down the stretch.
There's nobody. Some people are just a little better at it than others.
Well, when your nerves are high, hole 17, this little tunnel gets a bit tighter. Once again, Ricky Wysocki giving Brad a little bit of room to breathe here with a par on 17. But to be noted, Ricky has either birdied or hit metal for birdie on every single hole of the round thus far.
Wow.
Yes. 11 under. He is sitting at 30 under. So Brad, an opportunity to get a birdie here. Simon needs to put this one close if he wants to have any chance on 18 with the eagle. And he has thrown a great drive.
Beautiful drive right there. Great follow through.
James turning that one over into the ground. That's going to be a difficult 50-footer. A lot riding on this drive right now for Brad. And making it through the gap and going long.
Yeah, he's going to have another one of those.
Tester.
Yeah, one of those at that distance.
James throwing that one up. Okay. Hail Mary.
I don't picture James missing this hole ever. And
he doesn't either.
And you just don't think of him getting it like that. That was cool.
You see 2 on the scorecard, and you're like, yeah, of course James
Yeah,
Conrad 2
dink.
this hole.
He just
Yeah,
hit
of
it.
course he just hit the base and just dropped it in. This kid, boy, I call him kid because he's younger than me. If you're 35 and I'm 36, I call you kid. This kid is good. Whoops.
Yeah, and that's going to do it for Simon.
That kind of ends it.
Yep.
I mean,
Aside from a throw-in 2.
something crazy, of course. But this right here is huge.
Big putt.
And look at the pace change.
Yep.
You see the putt on the last 2 just wasn't where it needed to be. Brad brought the momentum up, gave it a good effort.
I think that was a lot harder than the previous putt as well. On
Oh,
the high-rise
yeah.
straddle, down the hill a little bit. What a putt.
Well, it's coming down to hole 18, par 5, 942-foot hole. The wind is crazy. Has been the easiest hole in the course, and now it's right there in the middle because the wind changed. The 9th most difficult. Objective number 1 for Brad, get in bounds. Number 1 objective for Kyle, get in bounds and throw it in for 2.
Yes.
And James getting over the high grass, but I don't think he's going to have a great run-up. Don't know if he'll be in position to go for the green in 2.
Brad just
Just
rips one.
yeah. I mean,
I'm surprised with that
So
that call right there, because he could throw it left, kind of.
yeah.
At this point, we knew what Ricky
Yes.
had taken.
So, wow, Simon. Look at this aggressive line for the big driver play. Oh my gosh, that's so ridiculously far. Up by the golf green is insano. But yes, Ricky's drive on this hole put him on the hillside with almost 0 run-up, but being forced to be in a position where he needs the eagle, knowing that this hole is very birdieable, went for it.
Yes.
And with his bad footing and with the lie, he ended up skying it and throwing it in the water, getting up and down, though, for the par. But Ricky right now has finished the event at 30 under.
I love this call here by Kyle, going for, like we said,
Going
you gotta
for it.
you gotta go 2.
Got to go for
He
it.
could have laid it up. Nope, he goes for it. Obviously doesn't do it, but I like the aggressiveness.
And a very well executed shot is to boot. Now, Brad, I mean, this, again, I mean, there's no drama in this. Look how good this is. There's nothing I can say. This is just game over.
Yeah, and the only thing you can do is speculate. Like, I think that he was in position, he could have laid up,
Yeah.
gotten par and won the tournament. He pedaled to the metal,
Yeah.
and
That's playing to win instead of playing not to lose.
exactly.
And that mentality has,
Worked so far.
it's worked for a lot of champions in the past.
Mm-hmm. James with a slight flip to flat,
Yeah.
top of the hill, yes.
You'll have that putt for birdie. What a good event for Kyle.
Yeah, it's good to see him back. Great on coverage. I mean, a lot of great putts, pretty drives. We're going to be seeing him some more this year.
And the next event on tour is Idlewild, the event that he won last year. A good time to get hot.
Yes. Simon leaves that one a little bit wide. Here's Bradley. All he needs to do is lay it up. He
going for the
decides
eagle.
to go for it.
Of course.
But you're right.
Brad
He
Williams.
said afterwards, he said, you know what? I'm going for it.
I love it.
If I want to win, I got to go for this, he said.
And James off the band. He's going to finish with a par. And for him, a disappointing 6 under to finish at 26, down for the event. But a very good show in general. Overall, Simon getting to 29 under, and his hot streak has just continued. Look at this back nine. Just the one bogey, the putting woes he had on hole 10. Other than that, incredible birdie streak.
Kyle to tie for third place.
Podium
Right there.
finish on the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
I wonder what that's like.
Forgotten.
You know, you can ask Brad, because he sits atop all of them.
6 years to the day from his first and only other Disc Golf Pro Tour win, the Maple Hill or Vibram Open in 2016. Your champion, Bradley Williams.
So I was focusing on footwork and angle control. I was trying to get like a hard hit on all my drives to try to trap the disc on the angle. I had really good spin this week, and I was committing early in the week on the putts. And then a little bit of like destiny and fate was kind of like, I felt like I was being tugged forward through the rounds by something outside of myself. I really felt like I was being pulled through the course, and I was like shocked and surprised, and I was just riding it. It feels like finding my way again, and it feels great.
Well, there you have it, folks. Bradley Williams, your champion of the Preserve.
He won the first ever Pro Tour. That was the first one.
Yes, it was.
And now he's won the
last one.
The last one that we've played so far.
Pretty incredible stuff for Brad. And that's 3 straight years of this tournament being won by these savvy veterans. Nico Castro in 2020, Ricky Wysocki last year, and Bradley Williams will have his initials etched into the Black Bear Trophy. Thank you so much to everyone this week for watching the Preserve Championship. Thank you to the Founders Club. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you, Paul. It's a pleasure to work with you again.
You too. I just want to say one more thing. I've heard a lot of talk of Preserve's big bomber course. Only the big guys are going to win.
Yeah.
Bradley shuts that down.
Kind of like
Great design.
a la
Great
Cam
turn.
Todd 2015 GBO style.
Absolutely. So congratulations to him. And yes, Jerm, it's been a pleasure. I'll see you at Idlewild.
2 weeks from now, we will be in Burlington, Kentucky for the Idlewild Championship, just like Paul had mentioned, the Idlewild Open, rather. We'll see you guys then. For now, BigBarri Commentary signing off.